pretty and sexy and all that other wonderful fun stuff.
Just for y'all.
That's right. I'm ready for my close-up, Mr. DeVille. Welcome, everybody. So yesterday I did. So you're my third drink and draw of the year, but the second back-to-back, actually. So yesterday I did a unicorn playing pool and kicking a dog's ass.
Yeah.
You want to see it?
You gotta. You don't just say that and not show it.
Okay. Well.
Okay. What does it say though? I can't really.
Pay up box and then stupid unicorn on the other side. And see, the box isn't very happy because he's about to lose his ass. You can kind of see it. Right? No.
Okay.
Yeah.
That is a pool table.
That's a
unicorn.
Yeah.
All right.
I'm getting there. I'm almost good. I've started drawing a little bit into the book. That's going to take longer than I thought because I know, and I should know this because I have no idea what I'm doing, and I've never let that stop me. But it does mean it's a learning process. You know,
it takes a little bit longer.
Yes.
Fair.
The whole of my secret, folks. I never know what I'm doing. It kind of just goes. I just don't let it stop me because I'm that person.
Now the whole world knows.
I know. Yeah, and the sad and the thing is too, it's like podcast has gotten bigger. My other show is getting bigger too now.
Yeah.
So my other show is getting obviously it's for a company, so the company's putting some of their muscle behind it too. But this on YouTube last week we broke 7K views or very close to 7K views. And this week that was with the advertisement. But this is a good sign because this week I did my second interview for the show. Started part 1 of my second interview with the show, and that's still near 2K viewers. Which again, you always expect a little drop off when the advertising goes, but we are maintaining some of that audience at the very least.
Yeah, 2K is still a lot.
Yeah, so it's not bad when you're building a show from the ground up, seeing some of the results of that. So
it's only been a few months.
Yeah, it's just I almost sometimes I think I know what I'm doing, and other times, I still don't know if I know what I'm doing. This is like that one of those, but I know it's what I'm doing. It's what I'm doing. It's what they're doing. It's a team effort. I'm not saying it's all me. It's all me. No,
I'm looking on my phone right now for an audiobook that is all about getting more followers. So let me throw you that recommendation so that it doesn't have to be you trying to rebuild the wheel,
Well, I think I figured something out, and I figured this out actually, ironically, with one of our discussions last year over a subject we disagree on. Actually, right.
Go on.
Yeah, right. One thing I realized, this is I think the most important thing I realized about the world and things is people respect you taking a stand on something. Right, even if you're right or wrong, you have to be credible enough and honest enough and authentic enough to acknowledge when you make mistakes. But if you're willing to do that and you're willing to take a stand for something, you're going to get 2 reactions. People will really like where you stand, or people will really hate where you stand. Either way, you've created a stand, a polarity.
Yeah,
and it's something. Like I said, I remember when Howard Stern was at his absolute heyday. I am that old, so don't make fun of me that much. But the thing was, right, the people that loved his show listened to it for about an hour. The people that hated his show listened to it for even longer, almost 2 hours. So, the reason why we get all this polarity in everything is for this reason. People that really love what you stand for are going to listen to it for a set amount of time. The people that really hate it are going to listen to it even longer. It's the absolute truth. It's something about human psychology that's really, really, really strange. And again, we're not going to go too deep into it. Donald Trump perfected this. Say what you will about everything else about him. He won in the sense that everybody was paying attention to what he was saying. And that was what he cared about. The rest of it, but
he's got a point. He's got a point, you know.
Yeah, but I'm just saying, like that's the thing, right? Once you understand that, like that's a big thing about advertising. It's everything. It's why advertising is the way it is today. It's why news is the way it is today. It's why everything is designed to create a reaction one way or the other. That's why we have this polarization problem in a lot of our issues. It's simply because our very media has designed it in a way to push us in whatever direction we want to go.
Mm-hmm.
Right? So, but understanding that little rule, that means the real secret is to get a following, whatever that following is going to be. You take stands on things. You let those things be part of your platform, knowing that some people are going to hate you for it and others are going to love you for it. And that's the whole of the secret, right?
You know, I think there is truth in what you say, right? Mm-hmm. But it's also about consistency. You can be consistently standing on any platform, any ground and message, so long as you're consistent about that, or you can be consistently neutral about things. But if you're neutral, it's hard to take a stand on things because your audience doesn't expect it. You haven't built your audience around it. But if you want your audience to see you as somebody who takes stands on things, that does open your advertising, your audience reach up anytime there is a trending issue, because now you can be vocal about something. You don't have to be neutral and find something else to be your carrier for your message.
I don't think neutrality exists, and not with everything, at least. I think again, this is just something I've just recognized in the last year. I'm still kind of putting the pieces together. I think we all kind of want to be like, I get it. We want to be apolitical sometimes because Lord knows there's some things that are just not worth talking about. And I totally get that. But I also don't think you believe in stuff, right? Now, it might be the giant spaghetti monster. It might be like God. It might be, you might be the hardest of hardcore atheists. Somehow I don't feel that's you, but I could definitely, right? But the thing is, like, you have your own personal set of beliefs and values, whatever they might be. And I think, honestly, as a creative, as an artist, that comes out in your work, no matter what it is. And so I think instead of shying away from that, now I'm not saying do it with everything. I don't ever want to talk politics as a big part of my platform. I just don't. Mm-hmm. Like, there are decisions you got to make, right? But the truth of the matter is, right, we all believe in stuff. And I think it's more authentic to gravitate, to openly talk about some of those things anyway that are really important to you, whatever they might be, right? Understanding that people are going to agree or disagree or be like, whatever the case, like, it's going to happen. So the point there at that point is, the point there is, okay, it's making a conscious decision of what those things are, what you want to present to the audience. But you have to, I think, because I don't think true neutrality exists. And I think that anything that comes off like too neutral doesn't feel real. I think there's, again, going back to what you're saying about authenticity and consistency and all of those things, because they are super important, right? But I don't think you can do that truly being a neutral. I think at there's a point where you have to stand somewhere. Now, again, be authentic, be real, acknowledge it when you're wrong, acknowledge your mistakes, acknowledge your, openly, you have to be honest. But I think once that rule is made, whatever that rule is, that's kind of where you go. Maybe I'm crazy, but I kind of feel like that's kind of, it's something I've learned about, like, when I've taken stands about certain things, I get a lot of pushback on some things. But, right, at the same time, I also get another group of people that's like, oh, man, this is exactly what I needed to hear. And it's like, it taught me something really valuable. It's like, this is why, again, this is why I was thinking about this whole polarization thing. It's like, this is why it exists. I think we've gone too into that, to be perfectly blunt. But at the same time, I see why it came about.
As creatives, it's really important that we market our personality. We'll get our audience based on that personality because we have a very steep competitive field. There's artists, there's writers, there's musicians everywhere. Throw a rock, you'll find it. And the only way that you are making your niche in this field is by being you. The bigger the company or the more technical the company, I feel the less that is necessary to have your personality carry the weight, though you will have a brand identity. But our brand identity as individual creatives comes down to our beliefs, our values, our likes, our dislikes, all of these things, and we will attract the people that we want. And that's okay for us because how much money do we need in a year? And that comes down to how many followers do we need to convert into buyers. So we can afford to be ourselves and in that way let the trash take itself out, if that's inflammatory. Sorry, garbage people.
Okay.
And that's all to say, you'll attract who you attract, like what we're saying. Neutrality is more for the folks who want a wide audience. And I don't mean neutrality in beliefs and whatever. It's like what the tone that you set as your brand identity is something that starts at the very beginning. You choose your color palette, you choose your message types, you choose what you will and won't speak to, and then you're consistent with that. And as artists, as creatives, every decision we make builds that brand identity. But if you were a car company, some car companies don't talk about anything. They just let their cars speak for them. There's a difference.
But well, let's talk about that. Let's go a little gander, because I think but again, I would argue with you that even car companies cater to specific audiences, and I would go so far as to say it's because they offer different levels of car for different groups of people, different levels of service. For example, to go with the really extreme version, a Lincoln Town Car. You or I, it is not for us. This is for a very specific kind of person that's going to get one of those. Or a Volkswagen creates a different kind of thing versus a Ford Mazda truck, which is a different kind of person. I would argue that I think that every company, doesn't matter, even the big ones that have blown up beyond all expectations. And I'm talking like McDonald's, I'm talking Kentucky Fried Chicken, I'm talking, Ford, I'm talking 3M, I'm talking any of these big companies. They started tailoring to a very specific niche. Now things evolved, but McDonald's still does the same kind of commercials now that they did when I was a kid. Same thing, the same exact thing. They haven't changed their slogan at all. Volkswagen, or a car company, right, on the lot, right, that too is to a very specific group of people. It's just, okay, there's a guy like me who probably his first car is going to be an $800, car that may or may not make it out of the lot the first time around. May or may not. We'll just, one of those, like, you pray to God, shoestring in a prayer things, right? Then again, right, someone like you who works on the farm may want something a little bit more practical for being on the farm because you have a very specific need you need. The 800-pound miracle car that may disintegrate in the rain is probably not what you're looking for. You're probably looking for, something where you can store tools, something where you can be prepared for as many different environments as possible, right?
Yeah, but the fact that I know which company is going to get me what I'm looking for doesn't mean that they take stands on things. Just because I know I need a truck and I know which company to look at doesn't mean they are going to decide where they fall on Colin Kaepernick taking a knee. No, they don't. No. They remain neutral, but they still stay true to their brand identity. And just because it brings in a specific audience doesn't mean that they're not neutral on the big things.
But again, I would argue though that they're not. I wouldn't say they're necessarily neutral. I would say more that they focus on what their story is, and they've been consistent with it the whole time.
Which
right?
is what I had brought up at the beginning. Either you are consistent about taking a stand on things, or you are consistently not taking a stand on things. But if you don't take a stand on things, you shouldn't take a stand on things in the eventual, for the risk that it seems fake.
Yeah. 50-50 on that with you.
50-50.
I'm 50-50 on that with you. I would argue that most companies do take stands.
Mm-hmm.
Right. I don't think they necessarily go and be overt about it. It's just
Mm-hmm.
all in it's all in their presentation.
Mm-hmm.
But again, this doesn't mean they're going to come out and talk about because same thing. Colin Kaepernick taking a knee doesn't necessarily care about that. Right. It's not what they care about. But again, they're caring about okay, how do I reach a specific audience? What is the language to reach that audience?
Mm-hmm.
I think, and that's where I do believe they do very much care about that. Because I would also, because again, this is just personal thinking about marketing is everything's a niche. Some things blow up, but everything is a niche. If that's the case, you have to be very conscious and clear of what it is you're saying and not saying. And what you're saying, again, you're going for very specific things, right? And again, that doesn't mean like causes are necessarily part of your slogan, but at the same time, right? How presentation, like how McDonald's presents something, is to a very specific group of people, kids, because they're very evil that way, and they know how much power kids have with their parents. So they're going to make all their messages tailored to those kids. Because that's why McDonald's was a magical place when I was young. Now that I'm older, I'm like, what was I thinking? I was brainwashed, you see.
McDonald's has also grown up a little bit.
A little bit, but they still do it. Like they still hit kids a lot, right? And I don't know how terrible that just sounded. They advertise to kids a lot. They do. They still, it's a big part of their message. Now they have expanded upon that a little bit because they are a bigger company and they are looking at market, but their core message has not changed, right? Same with Pepsi and Coke. Their messages have not changed either. Again, it's being so maybe cause is the wrong word, but I think, taking stand. What I mean by taking stands, maybe what I should say to amend that to say is, you have a clear message that targets a very specific group of people. And I think once you figure out what that group of people is, everything you should be doing should be built towards getting those people because those are your customers. For example, Shani O, the cover artist, does Shani O want to do interiors too for books? Like what would you what is there a preference?
Ideally, it would be the whole book project.
Okay,
but
so
the easiest would be the cover.
But I bring this up as like because there are people, let's say in comics, for example, that just do covers.
Yeah.
Right, and there are people that do interiors as well. Right, so what I'm bringing across is like that philosophy can apply to you as well. Does Shani O care about doing the interior and doing storytelling inside of the book? It opens you up to a lot of different things. But on the other hand, the cover might be flashier.
Right.
And it might be flashier because covers are super important too. They're the big part of what draws people into the book. So you can charge more for a cover piece than you can for an interior piece.
Right.
Experience. I've been on that end of that. I've been on that end, the business end of it, right? You understand those things. So all of which to say, right? It's again, those decisions are things you've made, like you personally have to make, right? And again, but you're still being polarizing when you do that. If you decide I'm just going to do covers, you have said no to so many different things, but that may not be a bad thing necessarily, right? You're specifying your audience, your range, who you want to serve. And
the
what
people
serves.
who have those budgets that you want, right?
Yeah.
You writ large, creatives, right? The
Yeah.
money that these folks are looking for, they come from clients who want to see specialization. They want, if you are just a cover artist, that's great. The client wants to know that because they're going to go to your website and see cover art, fan art, doodles from middle school. They're going to get really confused. But if you have just a portfolio of cover art, they're going to see you as just a cover artist and say, this is somebody who I can trust my big bucks with. So yeah, it's polarizing, but it's also like polarizing as in it is attracting the right people. And what you had said before is a really important exercise to do when you are working on who you want to attract. It's about figuring out who your avatar is, right? Coca-Cola, McDonald's, all these companies, they know who their folks are, who their buyers are. As creatives, as small businesses, it's really important that we do the same thing. So a great exercise is to have this avatar in mind that you make a name for. You think about what their day-to-day life is. Where are they going for their entertainment? What Facebook groups have they joined? Where are they shopping at? Because those are the hashtags that you're going to use in your posts to attract them. That's exactly what they're searching for. So it's very important that you are specific to this kind of audience and that you know who they are before you even go out there and waste money on a paid ad, you know?
Oh yeah, and also going so far as to say, like, for me, that's been my biggest challenge as a freelancer because I can do a lot of stuff. I play with video, I do audio. Again, professionally, although I'm going to have a credit to my name very, very, very shortly, right? I'm not sure it's going to lead to me doing more work for somebody else. You never know. I mean, I'm not against that idea, but that's not the goal. The reason why I'm drawing this book is because I'm actually uniquely suited to draw this book, right? Because because I too am a beginner. But better than an average beginner at this point, but I'm still a beginner. Well, my main character is also a beginner with art as well.
Yeah.
So actually, you want to see an actual piece of art that's actually a thought from the. See if this creeps you out. This might actually creep you out.
If I scream, will that be a compliment?
Yes. I don't know if it's going to do that. So this is a scene. This is a scene from the book.
Is he holding up his smile?
No, he's erasing the smile. That's all that's left of it out there. If you go back, you see he's actually doing work.
It's a little whited out because of the camera. So I'm trying to. You said he's doing work?
Yeah, he's cleaning up what used to be a comic book shop. So I can't actually. So all that's left is that grin. You can see some stuff. You can see a little bit of rubble on the floor. Nothing fancy. Just an idea. Yeah. Right. But the idea of that smile, like him going up there, and the smile is all that's left up there, looking down. It's kind of creepy. It's supposed to be a little bit, I think.
Well, the idea you're getting across is one that I think we could all resonate with. It touches on kind of a darker thing in life. Execution wise, is it creepy? The smile, if you want the smile to be the center of the story, I think there are ways to change the composition for that. And I might even add a broom in his hand to show that he was cleaning something.
That'd be fair. That's fair. Do you want me to us up or?
No. Well, that's up to you. You didn't really ask for critiques, so okay. I'm sorry.
No, listen. No, seriously. Yeah, I'm good with this because again, I'm actually I'll tell you one of the decisions I did make after doing this because this was just a rough idea, right? I'm not going to do it in color except for the smile. That's a decision. That's a decision I actually made with that because I realized I've been playing with color a little bit more as you can see.
Yeah, I noticed that.
Right, I've been playing with it a little bit more, and one of the things I like about color is that it can definitely add a little bit of depth to a
storytelling.
Piece. Yeah, but sometimes the absence of color, and also since the book is called Lights Out, the absence of color would actually fit that theme so much more. And I actually, so I'm like, but that smile should be highlighted in some way. Now, I can't like use the characters I'm referencing there in real full names, or me and a certain company might have a conversation and I lose that conversation.
Ooh.
A certain
D's.
iconic DC Comics character is the idea behind that smile. In fact, that's what I use as reference to draw that smile.
I think I'm picking up what you're putting down.
Yeah. So I can't, and obviously I don't have permission, ergo I can't actually use the full thing.
You can say that it's inspired by characters such.
Oh no. But what I did was I just said the bat and the clown. It's a good way to get around it without actually saying it, right? Makes sense, right? There's other ways. Again, one of those little tricks with words. How do you describe something so that people know what you're talking about without actually saying it? It's a big part of storytelling from a writing standpoint.
From an art standpoint.
Yeah, so here's the thing, right? So if I say the bat and the clown, people will know exactly what I'm talking about. But I'm not in trouble when it's...
Right, because the whole part of copywriting a character is that you need a few adjectives to describe them. The fewest amount of adjectives that it's still recognizably them. It can't be vague, but it can't be like utterly specific, right? Because then it can be copied with just very few details changed. But saying the bat and the clown, that's vague enough that it's not copyright infringement.
That's right. And and mentioning this and bringing that smile just like that, doesn't break any rules either.
You were obviously talking about McDonald's.
Totally.
Yeah.
Totally. Damn you, Ronald McDonald. Damn you. You evil,
are they paying for this episode? Because we've got a few plugs here for them.
Yeah, we did mention. But again, just one of those things doing that, Tommy. It's like when I redo this image, I'm going to do it a little differently, but one of the things is there's going to be no color. It's going to be outside of the smile itself, right? I also like the idea, since he's deleting the smile, right? It's like the last bit of color in a very, very black and white world. A creepy, dark part, but an interesting one.
How are you showing that he's erasing it? Is that in the narrative, or are you trying to show the picture?
Yeah. Well, it's the other thing is, like, again, just as a concept piece, him actually wiping, like using a scrubber, like a little scrubber there. It's actually scrubbing at the smile, right? So what I might actually, one of the other things I might do is I might actually put some blurry like lines, because when you start cleaning something, it tends to like streak. Yeah. So it's just like to make it a little streakier. Adding a little so I can make the red in the smile go like in a few different directions, so it doesn't look perfect, pristine. Because once you do that,
use a red pen and let it dry just slightly, and then erase over it, you'll get that effect.
Yeah. So that's what I like. Something like that will work. And so again, these are little things I'm playing with. But again, that's one scene that's going to be booked, and then the next scene in there is going to be a rain playing in the rain. Because it's a big part of it, and it's a big part of the story, and it's like cool, right? So I got like playing in the rain, I got creepy smiles, I got a 3-headed Cerberus, right? That I'm playing with different designs on there. So it's like there's but some of this stuff is just like I said, it's beginning stuff, but it works here. Because he's a beginner too. That's why it works. That's why I can do this. That's why I am doing this. And I think I'm a little crazy.
It really, like, if it's about the storytelling, then these are just tools in your arsenal to tell your story. If it's about marketing, you will need slightly different tools. That's not to say that the skills need to be excellently, like you need to be incredibly artistic. It does mean that it needs to sell to the people you want to sell to. Now, maybe it doesn't need to look incredible because you already have your following and they don't care what it looks like. But maybe it does need to look incredible in that it tells that story in the first read, right? It doesn't need to be technically incredible artistically, right, for it to read really easily to the new buyer. Because in the end, it's not really, the art is important. Yes, it sells. Word of mouth sells more. So so long as you can get that first 10 people to pick it up and the story delivers, they will tell their friends and it spreads from there.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely. So one of the things is like my current book, I'm starting to get, I've gotten reviews for it in a bunch of places.
Yes.
Right?
Awesome. Congratulations.
Yeah. Yeah. So from some pretty cool people too. So it's been nice to watch, read, see, do, right? But again, reviews are important. So when I do the cover for this, it's going to be, I already know what it's going to be. It's going to be just the words lights out. And it's going to be the binary code for lights out on the cover too. It's going to look very, that part will be sleek. Maybe I get somebody to do that for me if I can't do it well myself. But the interiors are going to be all me, because that's, again, fits the narrative I'm going for. Right. So, and also I kind of want to do it. And I know that maybe there are better qualified people, but this one feels like me. I'm homaging Ray Bradbury's Fahrenheit 451. So one of my favorite books of all time. I'm gonna have some fun with that, and that's just the way it's gonna be. And up into including 2 essays, because he had 2 essays at the end of it. So I'm going to actually do a similar concept. Is I'm going to actually kind of homage even the essays at the very end, talking about some of the different things. Talking about, one of them is going to be my pandemic experiences, just because of everything I've seen and witnessed. I've been across 3 different cities at this point during this time, and it's been interesting to watch the reactions, and also just where some of the more the darker aspects of the story, like the worst fears, which is always something science fiction kind of talks about. So that'll be one.
Yeah.
Then the other one is, and I already know this, it's going to talk about the nature of happiness.
Sure.
Because that's
Are you still in the mountains?
What?
Are you still in the mountains?
Yeah, of course I am.
Okay. All right. Continue. Happiness.
Yeah. You're like, I'm happy for you. Twitch.
Motherfucker.
Of course I'm still there.
Congratulations.
I hate you just a little bit right now. Just a little bit.
Drinking my tea.
Yeah. Drink my tea. Is it tea? Is it just tea? It's like, drink your drink. Like, yeah.
Drinking my just tea.
Yes, drinking your just tea. I'm just making sure. No, it's just like you said, just like, again, I've thought about, one of the things I always do when I think about storytelling is the experience I want to create for the reader. Right? Because that again, who do I serve? If I understand what I'm going for specifically, that's also how I'm going to advertise it. Right? That's the thing. And that's how I'm going to advertise. That's how I'm going to build. And it's like, okay, so my Alice books, I kind of want you to feel a little wonder, a little absurdity, and then I'm going to sneak up and kick you in the face with some actually deep thoughts here and there, because that's what I do.
Got it.
So that's this one. This one is about the exploration of art and joy in a very dark world. Finding happiness, and how happiness is the ultimate rebellion against any kind of oppression. If you can find joy in the world, you can actually resist whatever is in front of you. It's an amazing little thing about the human spirit that's actually incredible. It's like, to kill it, you have to actually take all joy away, which is like, and then when you sit there and realize that, it's like, so the way to fight any kind of oppression is with joy and laughter and ultimately courage. So that's this story, and that's what we're going to do, right? So I was, yeah. So as like I said, I've thought about this a lot, right? So you have to when you tell a story. Does that make sense? Does all make wonderful sense to you?
Yeah, when you were talking about joy, I was thinking about a character that I have, and it's been a long running thing for me to figure out what their motivation is, and what you just said kind of just put that into perspective a little bit. So I was listening, but I also carried that with me somewhere else.
So you stole from me. You stole from me, Shani.
There are no original ideas, but there is authenticity.
Yeah, no, absolutely.
Be authentic, and that is appealing to anybody.
Absolutely. No. It is absolutely true. I'm just being facetious with you. It's like,
oh yeah, but I did steal it from you, Bat and Clown.
Yes, Bat and Clown. Yes, that's right. Totally. Hey, I am totally. I never said. I never said I was
No, we're just
perfect.
referencing a baseball player who's also
That's
very
right.
funny.
A baseball player that is very jolly and has jokes. Right. It's totally it. Right. So, but no, it's something I've always enjoyed with again, when you take stories, take ideas, you take previous stories and you put them together in your own way. That has always been the way. That has always been the way things have gone. And what you bring to the table is you.
Your perspective. Everybody's got a different one. Everybody's looking in a different direction. And so if you can write down what you see, that's illuminating to somebody else, even if that person was there in the room at the same time. They were just looking in a different direction.
That's right. So I looked up Dark Alice. Now I'm finding like someone by the name of Alice Tarasenko. I have no idea who that is.
To the Google machine?
I don't. It's too much work. I don't care that much. It's like I don't know who this is. So but I don't care enough either. So, it's kind of one of those. I think we're gonna go with this one.
It's taking a minute.
Yeah, I am doing a twisted version of Alice in Wonderland because that's what I'm gonna be doing tonight for drawing. It's gonna be it is twisted. She literally looks like a godfather with a horse's head or something. It's just like nasty.
All right.
Yeah.
Alice Tarasenko seems to be a model.
Yes. Oh, you care more than I do. Yeah, you care more than I do. It's like, damn it, I want to know. Why don't you want to know? Because it's not important to me. I'm not saying I haven't outgrown curiosity. I'm always curious, but the thing is, I don't. How do I put this ever so delicately? Interesting. I don't worry about little things the same way. It's like if it's really important to what I need, I'll look it up. But sometimes it's just not important.
Are you drawing right now?
I am starting to draw it right now. Yes.
All right, then I need to share my screen, homie. It's going. 1 second. Share screen. All right. We're gonna look at the matrix real quick while I get everything set up.
Okay. Well, they said, yes. Watch the Matrix, everybody. It's a spiral. It's a wonderful spiral, and you can see us over and over and over and over again.
I'm working on this right now.
What is this?
This is a challenge from the Society for Visual Storytelling, and this month's challenge is Tiger. We're in the year of the tiger. So I am creating kind of a tiger firestorm over a futuristic farm. And I wanted to do some mountains, snowy mountains in the background to add a bit of contrast to this fire hellscape. But I will...
You can always use my Instagram for references.
I hear you. I hear you.
Yeah, I know you do.
Yep.
Mm-hmm. Giving me a thing. Did you give me the finger? Because I was like,
I mean, no.
It's like so... I hear you smug. Mother.
Oh wait. Speaking of mental finger, do you remember a game called The Game? The Game. You've lost the game. This isn't ringing a bell?
It does not ring a bell. I told you I'm deliberately uncool. What, I mean, if you show it to me, maybe I'll recognize it. But
No. The game is a societal contract. It doesn't exist physically.
Mm-hmm.
The game is awareness. Me telling you about the game makes you a player. You are winning when you forget about the game. You lose when somebody makes you remember the game. The game is whether or not you forget.
Interesting.
Some people can go a decade having forgotten the game. And then they're told about the game. They remember, they lose.
Interesting.
So you were just talking about a verbal middle finger, and you will get that from like 5 out of 10 shopping maulers you encounter if you tell them about the game.
Ah.
Try this at home, kids.
Okay, well.
Okay.
I've never heard of it up until now. I'll probably just completely forget about it because it doesn't seem important.
Wow. Awesome. Got it.
Yeah, no. I want to clarify. I want to clarify that because what happens when you get like a little older, you're like, okay, I only have so much time and energy. What's important to me? Right?
Mm-hmm.
So if I don't care if I lose the game, for example, then the way to win in your little game is it doesn't matter if you win or lose. So if that's the way to win, how do I ensure victory? Well, the answer to that is I don't have to care about the result of the game.
Well, it's not about whether you care. It's about whether you remember.
But if I don't care, I probably won't remember.
Until somebody reminds you about it. Our next call, I could remind you about it, and you would lose, even if you don't care.
But I'm okay with that.
Exactly. You can be okay with it, but you would still have lost. But you don't win just because you don't care.
But am I really playing if I don't worry about the result?
You're playing with somebody else is like, hey, you lost and you lost.
Okay.
You just don't have to participate.
Yeah. So if I don't participate, how can I lose the game?
You don't bring it up. Somebody else brings it up and you would lose. But you're not participating because you don't bring it up.
I see. Interesting. Sounds complicated. Sounds complicated.
Obscure. It is convoluted.
Yeah. Sounds a little bit too much like work. That's the other thing too.
I feel that.
Yeah, it's a little too much like work. If I don't want to play, then I'm not gonna play.
And your listeners are gonna write you back, being like, "God damn it, Shani made me lose the game." And
yeah, so that'd be awesome. Then maybe I'll be like, okay, maybe there's something to this. I don't know. It just sounds to me like it's a very convoluted way to say I win or I lose, just based on the fact that I win or I lose, and I'm like, okay, well, all right, I'm not.
There are no winners.
Yeah.
The only people who are winning are people who don't know about it.
Okay.
We're all losers.
And that's a very interesting little bit of game theory there.
Mm-hmm.
I tend to. So, again, I've been studying some game theory because I've been working on a little game here and there. Mm-hmm. And wow, this Alice is mean and dark and angry.
What?
No, I'm just what I'm drawing right now.
Oh, okay.
She's mean, but she has obnoxious boots.
Oh, well, that makes up for everything.
Hey, listen, I'm all for the obnoxious boots. I don't know if you actually saw. I drew a link. I made sure I made sure those boots were so big.
Yeah.
They would be like, you look at them, they're just giant weapons of mass destruction.
What is this, 1998 to 2004? Come on.
Yeah, hey, listen. I love me Ocarina of Time. Don't. It was the shiz or something. Whatever you cool kids say.
It was on fleek.
On fleek?
On fleek.
On fleek. Okay.
That's what the cool kids say.
Okay. What does that mean?
I guess it means that it was cool. Okay. I'm guessing.
You're guessing. Okay.
It's the technical term for cool.
Oh, all right. All right.
Yeah.
Okay.
Just go with it.
I'm not arguing with you. Right. So it sounds to me you're not cool either.
I'm not on fleek.
Okay. It's like, and you're okay with your uncoolness?
I will live my life somehow. I don't know how, but I will muddle
You'll
through.
survive. It'll
Yeah.
come.
Somehow I will find that strength.
Okay. Yes, I have. Interesting how I did that. So let's see how we.
So I hit a little bit of a conundrum recently that I think a lot of freelancers will identify with.
What was your conundrum?
All right, story time. I got
Okay.
my degree in agriculture. I get around by farming. I am
Yes.
skilled as a farmer and
Yeah.
as a leader and a farm manager, and I know some shit about farming, dude. I can grow
Yes.
the shit out of some carrots. All right?
You, you badass carrot planter, you. Okay.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Thank
Okay.
you. The
So
soil does most of the work.
yes. Oh, I know that.
Indeed.
I won't. I won't give away your secret.
Yeah, people want to credit me, but come on, it's the soil. Oh, so I've been going from place to place just trying to find some stability as a farmer and as an artist.
Yes.
And I found stability recently as an artist. I'm at a buddy's place and I applied to this job that's not farming, but it'll feed into my art. It'll pay for the advertisements, which will help get the passive income going because I think that's really where I'm at right now. I need to invest that way.
Yes.
And that's like
Oh,
the next big step.
so what's the conundrum?
The conundrum is I got a job offer recently to be a farm manager,
Okay.
and it's 50 hours a week, which is
Okay.
not conducive to the art thing that I'm doing, you know?
So, all right. So
It,
I have
it
a.
pays all right, but I
I'm going to
wouldn't
ask.
have time for the art.
So then, can I ask a wonderful question?
Let's hear it.
What does Shani want?
Right. I've had to come to the conclusion that Shawnee's going to have to wait on this opportunity until next year because by that time I should be where I'm at with where I want to be with the art. Shawnee would love to jump on this opportunity. I mean, it's a farm to table opportunity. You grow the food and there's a restaurant attached to the farm. And as the farm manager, I would have like this really excellent dish made for me every meal, right? Farm to table quality dish. It is like $15 a dish and that's every meal. Are you kidding
Yeah.
me? And they
Yeah.
make their own booze and whatnot. And that's not like I should drop everything just to go get some booze in me. This is a quality place to be. The
Yeah.
housing is included, the food's quality, the people are quality. They do work with the college. So it's like my type of intellect on this kind of subject. I'm not just going through the motions. I'm really thinking about the theory with people who enjoy thinking about the theory of agriculture and how that affects the world. It's a big difference that we're
Yeah.
making community. We're healing the soil. This is a huge impact that we're having for generations to come.
Yes.
But Shani
But
also wants to make art.
okay. But so then, what does Shani want more?
Shani wants them both, man. If
No.
it
No,
were, I know that's the conundrum.
that's not
That
the. No. But that's not okay. This is what I do.
so okay.
This is what I do. I go. I'm going to stop yawning for a second because this is actually important. So this is what I ask myself. I close my
Okay.
eyes. I close my eyes. I ask myself a yes or no question. Do I want to draw? Do I want to draw? The eyes are closed and you just feel it on the inside. The first reaction is correct. Don't second guess it. Don't overthink it. Just ask yourself, this. Do I want to do art? Yes. Do I want to do what I'm doing? Yes. Do I want to do this farm? And whatever feeling's stronger, you go with it. And you ignore the other one. Because no matter how good the farm thing would be, the truth of the matter is you wouldn't be happy doing it. My gut tells me you would be miserable. Not because you don't enjoy the farm work. Quite the contrary. You want more. Right? So that means for you, right? I'm not sure. Now, this might change. You might decide when you're older and wiser and all that other bullshit. You know what? Fuck, I'm fixing the land. I'm going to heal the world from everything. And that's cool. I'm not even going to argue, right? That might be your decision. But your decision right now is you want to see where this art thing's going to take you, right?
Right.
So you want to see where it's going to take you. That's what you want more. Now, this is just me off the top of the head. And I think you should find out where it's going to take you. Now, down the road, you might change your mind. And that's okay. There is no incorrect, by and large, there is no incorrect decision, right? There's no right or wrong. There just is, right? So here's the thing. Then. The question you need to ask yourself is, what is the thing you want? Right? You really want. What's the thing that you will regret not doing? I somehow don't get the impression, while the management job is nice, I also don't think you're going to regret losing it. I actually think, right? I think you would. I mean, you will find if they really like you, they will find a way to work with you regardless. I get the feeling you not doing art would slowly kill you on the inside, and then you would be turning to that alcohol eventually, too. Not because you are thinking, hey, this is great and wonderful. No, you're thinking, this is terrible. And what am I doing with my life? Why am I not happy? That's my impression. I actually don't think it's that much of a conundrum. I just think it's because this is something like you like stability. And I think it's because the risk with the art thing is there is potentially no stability with it. Like I'm at that point now. I'm working on 2 shows for clients right now. One of the shows is a massage therapy show that hasn't come out yet, but it's coming.
Mm-hmm. Congratulations.
Yes. One of them is an immigration show. And then I have my show. It has occurred to me that I'm going to create my own little podcast network with people to work with, help produce their shows, their stories, and get their word out there. That's good. That seems to me where I'm headed.
Mm-hmm.
Something just tells me that, just based on the fact that, looking at my episode numbers right now, it's not like I'm not qualified to do a podcast, right? So I say all that to go to you. Now, here's the thing. Right this minute, I'm still going through the starving artist thing, right? I'm not there yet, right? I get myself another client or 2. I'm there. Like, I am literally like I'm close enough now that I can see the light at the end of the tunnel. I just got to keep going and keep doing what I'm doing, right? So I got to be discomfortable for a little bit while longer, but I'm going to get there.
And that's really what it comes down to, right? Like, are you looking for stability somewhere else because you're worried that it's not going to work out? And I'm saying of course, the example is me in this situation, but a lot of freelancers are going to run into this issue where, like, this is a guaranteed position here. I will have money. I will do this, and this, and I can build on that, versus I can keep taking this chance and struggling, and there's no guarantee. Mm-hmm. And it's like, there's no written down guarantee. There's not an employer telling you, yes, this will work out for you. But there is your confidence and all your skills that you have and the experience that you have building your whole life, right? It's a matter of how will you make this work, not will you make this work. Sorry, my computer is saving everything.
No worries. I'm going to tell you. So my first year of freelancing and figuring this out when I met you,
mm-hmm.
in the back of my head, hold on. In the back of my head, I wondered that I was afraid I was going to screw this up.
Mm-hmm.
As a result, I did end up eventually screwing this up.
Spoiler alert.
Yeah. And then I went back and did some temp work here and there. And I know, and then some very apparent things came to mind. Number one, I am no longer suited for employment just anywhere. I'm not. because I don't look at working for somebody the same way anymore. I just don't. Number two, right? So when I got laid off at my last temp job, it was funny because I did nothing wrong. There was no issues. There's no, like, I did what I was told.
Mm-hmm.
And they still let me go after 3 days. I don't know why. To this day, I don't have a good answer as to why that happened, because I did nothing to warrant it. But then I had an epiphany. And that was this. Well, you got to go back to freelancing. And again, I had to figure out some shit, like my niches and stuff like that.
Mm-hmm.
First week I made the decision to go back to freelancing. I made more money that week than I ever did working for a company. First week. Kind of one of those universal affirmations that I'm on the right path.
Right.
Right? So now I've struggled. I still am struggling. But I also have this really weird confidence that by the time March rolls around, and I couldn't tell you why I have this confidence, but I just do. I'm going to be in an even better position than I'm in now. Right? I'm going to be in a position where things will just move in the direction they're going to move. So what that tells me, so all I got to do, again, and maybe I'm crazy, I'll be the first to acknowledge I could totally be off my rocker here. Right? Right? But
sure.
again, it's just one of those weird confidences that it's all gonna magically work out.
I think
And
you kind of need to have that kind of confidence to be successful in something that's so risky.
Well, that's just it. So going back to you for a second, and it's this. Are you confident you're going to succeed with what you're doing? Yes or no?
Yes, I am. I am on, no matter where I'm at in this journey, I'm on the journey. And that can't be wrong.
Okay. Then I'll ask yet another question. And that's this. If you have faith in the journey you're on, and you want to keep drawing, right? That's what you want. Then is this offer really a good one? Not because, again, I'm not criticizing the people, the farm, or anything like that. But the question you should be asking yourself is it serving you? And if the answer is no, okay, is it serving what you actually want? And if the answer is no, then is it really a good offer for you?
I don't, it's an incredible offer. I think it's the wrong time.
Then it's not a good offer for you. And again, I want you to be very clear on this. I'm not knocking the offer. The offer is probably a great offer. But if it doesn't serve you right now, it's not a good one. Does that make sense?
Yeah, of course it does. It needs to work for my goal on my terms.
Then I'm going to ask again, is it a good offer?
With that definition, it can't be a good offer.
Correct. Ergo, you know what you should do. Now, again, like you said, down the road, you might think about it a little differently. And that's fine. You're entitled to think about it differently anytime you want. There's almost no right or wrong choices. But there is almost always right or wrong reasons. So, again, that's the thing. Tomorrow, you might say, this journey's done. You've done everything you wanted to accomplish with this journey. There's nothing wrong with that. Right? Everybody has different goals. Everybody has different goals. And they should be respected. But if you're going to do, when you do that, when you make that decision, right, you'll make it because it's the right decision for you, not because you're afraid you're never going to see an opportunity like this again. You will. Make it on your terms, not on anyone else's. Took me a long time to learn that one. But when I did learn that one, I recognize that that is my true negotiating power. What do you want? What do you clearly want, Shani? Miss Art Bard, besides living in the same mountains that I do. What do you want? Right?
I want to travel as an artist.
Then what would be a good deal for you then?
I will take the job that I've currently been offered, not the farm job, but the other job, to feed into the business and develop the business so that I can be a working artist and then invest in the wheels so that I can go travel.
Okay. Then that is the correct course of action then, isn't it?
It's going to have to be.
No. Don't say that. I'll tell you why it's the correct course of action. Because it's what you want. Right?
It's the how to what I want. So long as that is the best how that I have at the moment, it's what I'm going to do.
Okay. So that's what it comes down to. It's not, I don't ever, I don't look at things the same way. Money comes and goes. Life only happens once. I just look at it, make sure whatever you choose to do in this life, you're doing it because it's the right thing for you. Because really, at the end of the day, the person you gotta live with is you. Anybody else is optional. If you don't like them, you can tell them to go take a flying leap. Right? Doesn't really matter. Right? So I say it like that because I want, again, to emphasize this, ladies and gentlemen, I am not saying that her offer with the farm is actually a bad offer. Quite the contrary. What I'm saying is
why it's so difficult.
Right? Yeah, it's not that difficult. It's not what you want, at least right now. End of story. But again, it's easier for me to say that because I don't have an investment the way you do. Right? And that's fine too. And that's a fair criticism. I'm not going to say it's wrong. But at the same time, I also realize that if you did it now, who knows? Maybe the first 2 weeks in, you get fired. I'm not saying that. You can do everything right and things can just magically change. Right? And that's part of life too. So if that's the case, then there's no guarantees either way. Right? Something that might seem secure might not really be secure. It might just blow up in your face when you least expect it. And then you'll be like, well, shit, I screwed up. Right? Consequently, if this screws up for you, okay, this doesn't work out. This job just does not work out for you, right? Well, you tried. You did everything you know how to do. You have no regrets. Might be a little perturbed you missed the other opportunity, but again, who's to say it would last anyway? You know what I mean? It's like there's no guarantees with any of this stuff. So if there's no guarantees, if security is by and large an illusion, or at least temporary at best, then really there's only one real choice. What do you want this time? And that's it.
I'm still here. I'm just ruminating.
Yeah, no. I mean, I wanted to make you think just a little bit. You want to see my bloody Alice?
Let's see your bloody Alice.
Ah.
What's up, bloody? Jeez, those boots, though.
Yes.
Just giving her all the boots.
But if you look real close, she's got lots of red streaks all over her dress.
Jeez, is that ketchup? Is that tomato sauce?
Something like that.
Is that red paint? Oh, it's marinara.
Yeah, that's right. Totally marinara. Tabasco.
Yeah.
So there you go. Tabasco Alice is what we'll call that piece. Tabasco Alice.
Tabasco Alice. Tabalis.
Tabalis. Tabalis.
Tabalis. I'm gonna share my screen again.
Yeah. So I got you thinking, huh?
Well, you know, I'm not the first, I'm not the last who's going to end up thinking about these issues, right? And I've been ruminating over it for like the last week. You know, I got the news on Wednesday, I think. And it was just one job interview after the other, and phone call and hours of conversations with people, you know, who it's a crossroads of destiny kind of thing, right? So it's been an exhausting few days trying to figure out what my next life plan is going to be. And the one thing that I've had to keep coming back to is my why. Why am I doing this? What does my dream life look like? It does this feed into that, right?
Yeah, absolutely.
And that's why it is so important to you know, when I was taking these classes from mentors who were like, you have to do your why statements, you have to write down your dream life, what does the dream day look like for you, right? This is why they said to do that, because eventually all freelancers are going to be given this kind of opportunity that will look great either direction that they go, right? So go back to that dream life and figure out which one works with that, which decision works with that, which is all to say, any freelancer who's listening to this right now, do not neglect your why statements or your dream life exercises. It's so important to do that. You're going to reflect on it when you're given these opportunities, and they keep coming.
Yep. And again, going back to like something that we talked about at the very beginning, the polarity concept I had, specifying your message, specifying your choices. It's all the same. The more specific you are, the more clear your destiny will be. And I know the word destiny scary. It makes people go bleh, but it's true. Right? We all have the ability to shape our lives however we want to. The question is, what do we want? Right? One of the reasons I think I'm kind of in this weird little limbo right now for me, and been there for 2 years, I had to make a decision if I wanted to freelance. At this point, the answer is a resounding yes. I don't see myself ever going back to a regular job again. So I just don't. But that's not a good enough reason to be a freelancer. I gotta think about in terms of my life, what I want done, how I want it to be. And like I said, I've done commercials, I've done video stuff. I enjoy that. I enjoy audio stuff. Like I am, you know, I'm a guy that talks to creatives all the time, and we talk about everything, like absolutely everything. So what does that mean? So again, who am I? I'm the guy that loves hearing people tell their stories, whatever they are. I'm also the guy that's telling his story each and every time he goes on the air. That's important. That's what my life is going to be. I'm going to be helping others tell their story, or I'm going to be telling mine. Right? And that's it. That's what it's going to be. That's what it's going to do. You know, how do I want to tell my story? Fiction, the podcast, like are the big two. The podcast I'm most consistent with. Fiction, I need to be better at. But I still want to do some occasional freelance writing here and there. But what I really want to do is focus on, again, creating series. So freelance writing might actually go a step backwards by the time I get to the second half of the year. I may not be doing it. I might just be writing my own fiction. That's what I kind of want to do. So that's not a punishment. That's just making clear decisions about who I will be and won't be. Now that doesn't mean that doesn't mean I won't still write freelance stuff here and there, right? Quick cash is nice, right? But at the same time, it's not my focus. And I've realized that, I published 12 articles last year, right? That's not bad. It's not bad for a portfolio.
12 articles that's an article a month. And really, if you're looking at portfolios and what the folks who will hire you want to see, 12 is just enough.
And my first one has come out this year. I got another one I'm writing tonight. So it's not like I can't get work. But do I want to keep writing what I'm writing? The answer is no. Do I want to write about other things? Sure. But again, looking at it honestly, right? Looking at myself honestly, I have to make some clear decisions of who I am and, more importantly, who I'm not, right? So that's important. Now, the other thing is, the big decision is, do I stay here or do I leave and go back to the city? And the reason why, I would love to connect with some friends again, right? I'd love to connect with some friends again. But I also realize if I do go back to the city of Calgary, it's going to be very different. Again, I'm not the same person I was when I left it, and nor are the people that I knew the same people, right? Things have changed. So is me going back there going to suit me? On the other hand, and especially when you look at it from the point of view that, hey, you know what? I wake up to mountains every day.
Yeah,
and
right.
I'm not saying that to rub it in either.
No, I get you.
Yeah, I'm just saying that because it's like, okay, I get up to this. I live a very, very at ease life right now. I'm not in a rush to do anything, right? So do I want to go back to where I have to be a little bit more rushed? Right? I don't know if I have a really good answer to that right now. So if I don't have a good answer to that, right? So again, I don't have a clear answer of where I'm going next. So at some point in the next month or two, actually next month, I got to make a decision. Right?
And
either way, it'll be fine. Again, there's no wrong answer here. Right? But I have to make a decision accordingly, right? So.
Well, it's like what you were saying earlier with is it a fuck yeah or a fuck no?
Yeah,
and
exactly.
Moving back doesn't sound like it's a fuck yeah.
No, not at this moment in time. I'm not against the idea exactly, but it's not like if it happens tomorrow, it's like, yeah, no, I'm not necessarily, right? Right? I don't have to, and maybe I don't want to, I'm not against the idea completely, or I wouldn't consider it at all, but it's not, fuck yeah, I'm going back to, right? So, okay, so what does that mean for me, right? Do I just want to stay here? There are worse places to be, right?
Yeah.
You're like, yeah, you son of a bitch. Stop.
You're doing great over there.
Yeah. It's like, you're good.
Why? Why?
Because the universe loves me, and and it's working on you. I've been around longer.
Aw, shucks. Thanks, Boo.
Yeah, I know. I know. I'm gonna get a finger at some point here. I know. It's like you.
No. This is a supportive, safe space. We're good.
It's okay. Listen. You know how I'm going to be able to tell that you actually truly care, and it's gonna sound really terrible, but it's when you're able to talk shit about me and feel comfortable doing it to my face. Because because here's the thing, love is not, oh, you're an amazing, wonderful human being. By the way, I'm not saying you aren't an amazing, wonderful human being. But here's what it's saying. It's like, Shani, you need to improve this. And I'm confident enough to tell you about that. and because I trust that you'll be able to take it in a light that's different. It's not when you are lovey-dovey that things are real and great. It's when you can look in a relationship and go, hey, we can fight over stupid shit and still love each other or care about each other. That is the true definition of a healthy relationship.
Shit talking.
Not just shit talking.
No, you said you want the shit. I will bring on the shit talk.
Oh, that's right. So you do care. I'm flattered. Thank you.
You're so effing welcome.
You're so effing welcome. You son of a bitch. Your mountain life. And it's like, I gotta make you jealous of me somehow. You know. But I mean,
yeah.
but
I'll just drink my only tea. Just nothing else. Mm-hmm.
Nothing else. It's tea, as in tequila. I mean tequila. Something. Shut up. But yeah,
I'm smiling. You just can't see it. Anyways,
yeah,
continue.
that's right. But like it's one of those things where I've realized like that's love. Love is not, if you can trust somebody enough to call them an asshole and they're still going to be there for you afterwards, you have a good relationship with that person. You really do. And
you can't trust everybody who calls you an asshole. So if this one person calls you an asshole and you can still trust them, they're a keeper.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. No, I'm not talking just random strangers. I mean, they might call you an asshole for completely different reasons. But I mean,
you might just be an asshole at that point. I don't know.
Well, listen, I will never say that I deserve to be called an asshole, but sometimes
I won't say I didn't deserve it either.
Yeah. Sometimes it's like we live in a very, very like strange world. And that's the truth, right? Like we just live in a very strange world. And that's it. But again, people I love that can call me out on my shit, love me anyway, in spite of all my flaws, and give me the freedom to be myself. That is truly a great relationship and should be treasured above all else. Never take those relationships lightly, ladies and gentlemen. Those are the only ones in this life worth having.
The constructive ones, he says.
Yes.
Yes.
I'm assuming constructive, because if someone just starts by calling you an asshole, probably, and you want to be friends with them,
that might be a little destructive, but whatever.
Yeah. Well, at that point, it probably is. Probably. And at that point,
asshole. I think I love him. Do I have a problem?
Listen, I have seen some of the dumbest relationships. They said, I can fix that. It's like, no, you can't.
Oh yeah, no. The rescuer complex. Nah, dude.
It's like, I can fix that. It's like, no, you can't. Don't even
let
try.
It go. Let it go.
I can't. They're so dreamy. If they're amazing.
It go.
They're amazing. So I love them. You can't tell me who I love.
You can't fix them.
No. That folks is truly the secret. Like that at that point you might be in a bit of an unhealthy little problem, or you have low self-esteem, or both.
Oh, I won't even bother to unpack that one. That one's loaded.
Yes. Well, yeah, like you said, we've all made mistakes, including me. I'm speaking from experience there a little bit.
You can't rescue them, Josh. You can't do it.
No, you learn this stuff the hard way sometimes, though.
They have to rescue themselves.
Yeah, I've learned that too. Well, I like I said, I had the epiphany. People do exactly what they want to, always. Once I understood that, it became easy for me to let people just do their thing. Because again, I'm not trying to be a hero. Now it's like, okay, is this what you want to do? I'll let you do it.
And if you are trying to be the hero, understand that you yourself are doing exactly what you want to do.
Yes. And oh no, I've learned this. What do I want? I want to help this person. Okay. Do they want
All
my
right.
help?
Good luck.
Yeah. Do they want my help? Do I need my help? You probably should think about that one, folks. Always think about that one a little bit.
Do they deserve my help? Because
That's
I've only got like, so much fuel in the tank to help somebody who isn't going to work with it.
well. See, deserve is a very, very dangerous little word.
I'm not saying like their character. I'm saying my care is finite.
Well, no, and that's a good thing. But I think the it's not about deserves the wrong. I think the wrong word. I think the right word is, will I get what I want? Putting in this time to help this person. That's it. Because it's not about deserve. Because deserve could be that's loaded sometimes. But you're making the choice about what you want. If I want to help somebody, it's because I believe that person will appreciate my help. Now, if I get overwhelming evidence to the contrary, then I need maybe to reevaluate some life choices, right? Some of my life choices.
Mm-hmm.
If I still want to do it, that's fine, but I have to know and expect the fact that I am very likely going to be hurt in the process, right? Some people are okay with that, right? But eventually, you stop wanting to get hurt, and you can't. And when you hit that point, walk away, because nothing good will come from it. You can't expect people are only going to change if they want to change. That's it. There's no other secret to that. People change if they want to, right? Or they just don't, right? And you have to be okay with it either
Don't
way.
take it personally either way.
Yeah, that's it. I mean, there's no other magic to it. If a person doesn't want to change, you can't make them. If a person will change, right? That's their choice.
And you can only take so much credit for that, because really the hard work, if you're doing therapy, the hard work happens between sessions.
Yep.
The therapist can take some credit by being your sounding board and some wisdom and whatnot, but you're doing the hard work of developing yourself. You can try to save somebody and they may actually be saved, but realize that you did not save them. They took what worked for them and applied it to themselves, and you just happen to be there.
Yep. That is the truth. You cannot deny the truth. So people gotta make people do what they want to do. Once you make that realization, like I said, it changes everything. It changes absolutely everything. And
I don't quite know how we got onto this subject, but I agree.
Mm-hmm. We just talk.
This is true.
We just talk and shit happens. What are you gonna do? And I see. I get the feeling. See, I also get the feeling. Although I don't know how much you're this way, but I do get this impression you like helping people too. And I get the feeling that once upon a time in a galaxy far, far away, you too have tried to be a superhero, and it didn't work out so well. And you had to figure out why that was the case. And you realized, you know what? I don't need to be a superhero every single time.
A very far away galaxy.
Yes.
Give up on that horse.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. I might be wrong, but I do get the feeling that you are the kind of person that if someone genuinely needed help, you'd be there. Right? Maybe I'm wrong on that assumption. Maybe you'd be like, nope. It's all about the me's. It's like, maybe.
I'm the only one who matters.
Yeah.
Nah, dude. Nah. Just, if I want my help to be worth it, like really effective, if I want to be effective in the help that I give, I have to choose the person I'm going to help. I can't save every puppy.
That's right. I agree with that. I absolutely agree with that. And not every puppy is for you to save. And that's
I'll leave some puppies for other people. You take a puppy. You're welcome.
Well, I don't know. So I think something you said that was truly that resonated with me on this. Ouch. I hurt ribs somehow with that. Oh well. I'll fix that eventually. No, I think one thing you said that I think is absolutely 100% true is people choose to save themselves. And one of the things you got to realize is that people aren't always ready to do that. Right? Again, change comes from within. Well, change comes from within. That means you got to come to a point where you're ready to change. And not everybody wants to change. People are sometimes happy being in the positions they are in. And you can't fix that. That's what if that's what makes someone happy, that's what they're going to do.
There's nothing there to fix.
Exactly.
Because at that point, it's just a judgment. If I'm trying to fix somebody who doesn't want to be fixed, I am judging that their life needs to be changed to suit my values. And that's selfish.
Yep. For the most part, absolutely. It's hard though when you watch someone legitimately doing stuff self-destructive to themselves. It is very hard. And that I understand.
It's hard, but it's also not my narrative.
Yeah, exactly. No, that is true. That is absolutely true. But again, once upon a time, it didn't come to me very easily. I had to go through some life lessons, if you would believe that. But
nah.
Never. I get it all right in one shot. If you believe that, folks, I have a bridge for sale.
A whole bridge?
Oh, no, a piece of it. $5. Yeah. It's yours.
Oh wow.
It's $5.
I've always wanted a bridge.
You always wanted a bridge. Well, it's just a piece. You're going to live with a piece.
Oh, well, never mind then.
Okay.
Pass.
Okay. I had to try. I just figured let you know.
Yeah, I don't want a piece of a bridge either. I can see why you're getting rid of it.
Yeah. Actually, true story. There was a gentleman that would sell pieces of the Eiffel Tower back in the 1700s. Oh, yeah. It's one of the best cons. It was one of the best cons ever.
Say it again.
He sold pieces of the Eiffel Tower to people for like $5 or the equivalent of $5 at that time. And
so people own like screws and bars and
no. They own nothing. That was the con. But he would sell pieces of the bridge. Like he would own a piece for like $5. Right? That was the whole con. It was the whole con. It's an old. That's where the bridge for sale comes from.
Got it.
Yeah, that's where it comes from. It comes from the fact that people would try to con others into buying pieces of property that they never actually owned.
Kind of like how you can adopt a road?
Yes, kind of. But, but it like I say, it was always it was always interesting that people would like try this stuff all the time, and it happens all the time. But yeah, so like I said, folks, I get it right absolutely every freaking time, and I even have
I had no doubt.
Yeah, and like I said, and if you truly do believe that, folks, buy my piece of bridge. I'll put a link up for people to do that. P.S.
How about just stocks in your piece of bridge?
Nah.
No. Okay.
It that's too sophisticated.
Got it.
I want people to know I'm genuinely full of shit.
Got it.
Right? Because if the last thing I ever want to be is someone that does a con job that actually works. Right?
Have you seen that movie, I Just Care a Lot?
No, I haven't seen it. What it's about?
It's the con of elderly care.
Oh God.
And of course it's coming from people who say that they care a lot, but they're just after money and flipping houses that used to belong to really wealthy people who then got like medical records changed by official-looking doctors who are in on it also and stuffed into a nursing home. And all the money came from liquidizing their assets because the doctor said that they were senile and crazy, and all of their family is barred from talking to them because they're like, where'd they go? Who knows? Who's in charge of the assets? Who knows? Anyways, that's a con, but that's also a rabbit hole. So we'll leave the movie recommendations to a different podcast.
That's right. If you want to do, there we go. That's the last thing I have to put in magic pen here, so I can color the rest of this. So I tried this is my very terrible Boba Fett.
Okay. All right.
Shape-wise, I'm almost there. About 10 minutes away. And then from there, we'll, at this point, I'm just coloring him. So I might hand this in as my first drink and draw piece for the year.
Let's see the boba.
Give me 10 minutes and you will see the boba.
All right.
I'm just finishing the copy stuff.
Nice screen sharing for folks, right?
What? Yes.
Yeah. Okay, cool.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put it back. Yada. That's right.
Does that look like a tiger to you? I know it kind of looks like a feline, but I'm gonna add.
It has a feline aspect to it, but I think there's not enough black because of the stripes of the tiger.
Yeah, I'll add some.
If you add some stripes to it, it would look more tigery. Because right now it could be any kind of cat. It could be right. I'm not. That's kind of right. So you gotta put some like layers to it in terms of like colors and stuff. But
I think so too.
Yeah, that's where you're at. That you need another layer just to emphasize the big differences there.
The big cat differences.
That's right.
Got it.
It's all about the cat, ladies and gentlemen. All about the motherfucking cat. I am going. The boba from a shape perspective isn't really that. I got the right one. Boba from a shape perspective isn't the most difficult I've ever tried to draw. But his color scheme, this is the downside of pencil crayons, is that you don't always have the right color. I need more. But at the same time, again, this is just a learning experience more than anything else. And it's like, I'm just doing stuff for fun and to learn, not to, And by the way, and folks, there's nothing wrong with that. That's your choice with drawing stuff. One of the reasons I made the decision to draw like this was because I could get people like Shani to come on and draw with me and learn stuff. Because I am that kind of person. I am deliberate that way.
And it worked?
Yeah. Yep. And then I have just a charming personality.
So charming.
That's right. That's right. I rub stuff in all the time. Besides, like I said, one day
living on the mountains, living his dream client, customer, all that.
Getting there. Like I said, I'm not where I want to be yet, but I am getting there. Right? So I'm working on it. Okay, I think this was my first Boba Fett attempt. So
are you showing it right now?
Just about. I'm signing my name to it because.
Oh, word! I thought you said 10 minutes, but that's all right. We'll
it's okay. No, we can talk for a few minutes until I thought it would take longer than that. I'm still, like I said, learning, and sometimes it's like, hey, I know what I'm doing. Sometimes it's like, well, I really don't know what I'm doing.
I feel that. That's what art is, and I'm sure the same is true for writing. Yeah. Half the time, I don't know what the fuck I'm doing. I'm just kind of letting it make itself.
Yeah.
Like right now. I don't know what I'm doing.
Absolutely. Now, let's see. I look like this is what I did. People seem to be oh wow, cool. I got some stuff here. I'm just looking at some of the I gotta put some. I gotta respond to some tweets when this is over. I just kind of I just kind of what do I put this? I just kind of wanted to put my weekend motivation was all about ostracizing people, and that we have a tendency to do that. But when we do that, what we're actually doing is we're making it so we don't have to listen to people, and that is not always a good thing. Sometimes you just need. Now, again, you don't need. They're like anything else. You only have so much time and energy in the day, and I get that. But at the same time, if someone's generally earnest in what they're saying or doing, the worst thing you can do to somebody is label them into a little corner somewhere, because it's not going to stop them from having these thoughts or feelings. And if anything, it might make it worse. Good to hear an idea out and hear it for its merit, and the person for its merit. Because again, all of us at the end of the day, we just want to be understood. And by just putting people in boxes, we tend to make it so we don't understand those people ever.
Yeah. And in some ways, we're all just action and reaction, and so I'm not going to feel bad for having a reaction that may be dismissive of an argument that I'm not for. Like, that is the fallacy of tolerance, is being too tolerant.
Oh, yeah.
So it's the whole idea of dharma and karma and whatnot, and maybe it is my role in this person's life to dismiss them and kind of reality check. Not everybody needs to be listened to, right? But it's also my responsibility to not see them as any less human just because of an argument. Ideas can change, right? That doesn't make them worth less just because I don't agree.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And sometimes in disagreements you learn stuff, and that's the best stuff, and that's the best when that happens. So that is something I understand and I recognize, and I've learned doing this show. Again, the ultimate defense against tolerance is standing for, like, again, believing in things you believe in. That's how you overcome tolerance. That's being too tolerant. If you have something you've taken a stand on, then you have a defense against too much tolerance. But at the same time, if you have an open mind, because I know this is hard to believe, Shani, I'm fallible. I know it's a hard. I know it's a hard truth. I've had to come to terms with that.
I can't even with him. Get me off the show right now.
Yes. Yeah, it's like totally. It's like, you can't believe this. I know I can be wrong, and terrible, right? Terribly honest and profound things I'm saying, ladies and gentlemen. It's like, yeah, I don't expect. I'm never going to get it all right. So, are you done for the moment?
It's lagging, so it's taking a moment to, hands on the knees. Shani, too much.
Are you beating the crap out of your computer?
I am, but I can be done for the moment. Let's look at what you're showing.
This is the boba.
What's up, the boba? How you doing?
This is the boba.
I like that. It would be his left hand, I suppose. It's one with the gun. You just did a contour-like drawing there, where it's just the outline, and I think you captured the feeling of it really well.
Yeah. So I wish I had a little bit more like of a color palette, so I could actually play with this a little bit more, because he's got a lot of, like, the military camouflage thing is a big part of his costume. And I was looking at my color schemes like that. How do I do that with what I got? And I'm like, I'm not sure. So it's one of those things I gotta play with a little bit more.
Yeah.
But for a first time, that's not a bad boba.
No, and you were talking about the shapes and how it's an easier character that way. And I'm still intrigued to see what you do with shapes as your style. It's like your main language.
Yeah. So it's just like, again, just simplifying shapes is what I do. So playing with colors, playing with stuff. Like I said, I've done 2 drawings tonight. I think that's pretty good for me, right? You can keep going for a little bit if you want, because it's cool. So turn her back on for a little bit, and we'll just talk for a little bit, and then we'll wrap her up in about maybe 20 minutes.
Yeah, sounds good. I got to
yeah.
Homie's
Me too. I'm gonna watch dinner. I'm gonna have dinner, and then I'm probably gonna watch. I'm a wrestling fan. Royal Rumbles tonight.
You're a
I'm a
wrestling
wrestling. Yes, she's mocking me now. She's making fun of me.
a little bit.
Yeah, it's okay. Listen. I read comic books. Okay, so wrestling's like real life superheroes, right?
Okay, no, that makes sense when you say it like that.
No, it kind of is. If you sit there and think about it, right? You have a big bad guy. He's causing all kinds of problems, and you bring a hero in and go, "Let's fight, motherfucker. Let's just go," right? It's simple.
Go.
It's simple. Now, don't get me wrong. Now, I could also do some stuff with wrestling and porn, and be like, okay, it's actually. So
yeah, we can all make those kind of connections, and
that connection is there. I have to acknowledge it, right? I can't just say it doesn't exist.
That's why you'll find in my porn search history Superman, tights, tall buildings. Really? No, too much? All right, no. You won't. Really? I don't search for porn, but that's all right.
It's like,
I'm not here to kink shame.
No, it's not. It's just like one of those things where it's just like, no, it's just one of those like really weird like things. You just recognize an art form for what it is, and
porn is an art form. You meant wrestling?
Actually, if actually, you know what? Honestly, if we're being, although grant you, I do think I'm not going to say porn is a great art form, but technically it could. Someone could construe it as that.
I think it depends on the quality, right? And then we're getting into the elitism of art, right? Who's to say what art even is?
Yeah. Well, it all comes down to the concept of good. What is good?
Yeah, right.
Right. I mean, honestly, when you get right down to it, that's the big debate in art, right? I mean, let's be honest. We all say Shakespeare's a classic, but how many people actually read him? Right?
How many good classics are there how many good creators are there that go unseen just because they're not popular? Like,
yeah, good is relative. Them good? Yeah, good is relative. It was one of my favorite lines. Stephen King mentioned this in a Dark Tower novel. It's how they beat a crazy train. Is the clown, the Joker of the guys usually plays the. I'm telling Eddie short. Eddie asked a really dumb question it was really a dumb question to the train, and the train didn't like that. It was a riddling contest. Basically, the train had until the end of the line. The main characters had to figure out, could they make a riddle to stump the train? If they could, the train would let them go. If not, by the end of the line, that they've answered everything, the train could answer everything that was asked, then the train would kill them. So Eddie asked
so high half the time. All right, go for it.
Yeah. So Eddie asked a really dumb question right off the bat, and the train didn't like that. Then the train goes through the rest of the cast. They all asked really tough riddles, right? They all asked really, really tough riddles. And the train solving them all, left, right, center. Like, doesn't matter what they're asking them, the train answers it. And Eddie's watching this, and he's thinking about this. Why didn't the train like my question? Right? Why didn't the train like my question? And then he had that thought, wait a minute. Why are we asking him just good questions? Why not ask him bad questions? Because good is really up in the air now, is it? So I don't have to, I can BS this train to death. And he does.
This feels like Rick and Morty.
Except this is way before Rick and Morty. This is like 1989. This is well before
Rick and Morty. Just a whole book of it.
Yeah. Oh, about 100 pages of it. Like you said, the train is this monster, and then Eddie just beats it. Eventually, he breaks the train down to the point was, why did the chicken cross the road?
Oh my God.
Oh no, it gets like they are bad on purpose. Like, but he broke the train's brain. Literally. They won because he threw asked terrible questions, but I never forgot the lesson of that book, which is good is relative. It doesn't matter what I think good is or you think good is. Good is, as a concept, always an intangible, right?
Mm-hmm.
Right. So if that's the case, if that truly is the case, then everything is art.
I would agree that everything is art. I would say good is relative to goals. And it
Okay.
doesn't need to look awesome or be artistic for it to achieve a goal. Why did the chicken cross the road?
Because you want to hear the answer in the novel?
Yeah, sure.
Because it's a baby was stapled to its head. That's why. It was
What?
terrible. That's what
What?
it was. That was what it
Because
was.
the baby
A
was
baby was
sick.
stapled to the top of its head. That was the answer to that riddle.
How did it get to that?
Because he broke him down. He started asking really terrible. It started like he just started asking really bad questions. At first, there were some logical. They were puns. Some of them were puns. Some of them were, but they were riddles. And after he asked the first question, the trainer goes, "I don't want to answer." And then the leader goes, "Do you surrender?" And the trainer's like, "Well, what do you mean?" It's a riddle. It's not. Again, good is not the issue here. The rules were we asked a question, you had to answer it. If you can't answer, it's over. So, Eddie just goes from bad to worse to worse to worse. It gets terrible. Like, I mean, by design, he made this bad. He actually told the train woman, just give up. I can do this all day. I will do this all day. Right? And eventually, you're going to have to cry out. The train wouldn't do it. The train just was too stubborn. But eventually, he broke the train. The brain's artificial intelligence just shattered because it just could no longer. He broke it down bit by bit by bit. Again, he started with terrible puns. Then he asked like even dumber questions. Then finally got to the why did the chicken cross the road? And then then the train just completely went kaput.
Okay. All right.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm just
There you
getting
go.
Ozzy's Crazy Train song in my head.
It definitely was a crazy train. Like playing the mono for anybody listening. And the books you want to read for that are The Wasteland by Stephen King, which is Dark Tower Volume 3, and Volume 4, which is the best book of the series, Wizard and Glass. Because after the train, you actually get an incredible love story. It's actually amazing the love story you get told at the end after they survive the train. That I will
Does the
not.
train fall in love?
No, train's dead. Train dies first 100 pages.
Oh, okay.
It's about the main character, the gunslinger's first true love, and it's actually beautiful and sad and magical and wonderful all at the same time.
Was it a gun? Actually, they fell in love with a gun, didn't they?
Yes. Its name was Penny.
Seriously?
Its name was no. It was no, his first true love. They go to a village when he's a teenager. He meets the love of his life. He really does, and it's beautiful. It's actually an incredibly beautiful story. And then, obviously, it doesn't end happily ever after because Gunslinger's long past that. But it's incredibly sad. And it's the best kind of love story. It's magical. It's wonderful. It's sad. It's tragic. It is a crazy, crazy ride, start to finish. But it feels, when you're done reading that, it's wonderful. Like, it's one of the best things I've ever read.
I'm going to have to take your word for it.
That's fine.
Crazy train.
That's right. Oh, life is a crazy train. We just happen to be on it. It's just I've learned this long time ago. So, but it is what it is, and we're just here passing through. And along the way, I've met some really cool people, just like you.
Oh,
yes, lame poetry, right on the
just this guy.
That's right. She's actually got a little bit of a smile because there's just enough genuine. It was lame and yet genuine at the same time, and she felt those.
Oh,
you're like,
life is a crazy train with you around.
Oh,
Aww.
there you go. I'm putting a heart up just for you right now.
I feel it.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
For all the folks watching right now, I don't know what I'm doing. I'm playing with colors.
Yeah, what she's doing right now, she's trying to. Now it does look more like a tiger now. It definitely feels more tiger. You gotta you gotta keep going with the back, because otherwise it's a very interesting tiger. But I mean, you could have some fun with it. Like, you know what? It doesn't have to be perfectly symmetrical. Instead, what if a piece of it was missing? Just not all of it, just a little bit of it, right? Then yeah, and also
I'm definitely not going for symmetry. I'm trying to get that whirlwind spin here. And so this darkness is just laying down that movement of the whirlwind.
Ah, I see.
But it's also going to double as looking like a stripe.
Interesting. So you have this planned out or something?
I have an idea, but I don't quite know what I'm doing.
You're learning.
I'm playing.
Yeah, but then you're also learning, because it's the best way we learn. We learn when we play.
True that.
Yeah.
Shoestrings, hopes, full circle.
On that note, give you another couple minutes, and then we'll wrap this show up.
Yeah. Let me just. No, we're good.
Yeah.
We're good.
Yeah. No, let you just do your thing, because I don't want to. Obviously, I mean, you came back. This is. So yeah, it's been kind of cool. I guess I owe you a small little thank you, because one of your So I'm gonna let you in on a little secret. I'm gonna let you in on a little bit of a secret here. Now,
let's hear it.
You weren't my most popular episode last year, but you were one. You weren't. No, you weren't. That
what?
You lost to a 3-year-old holding the show hostage. I'm sorry.
Seriously?
Yeah. No joke. No joke. I had a guest. Her son just kept showing up in the show. It was actually adorable, because he's just trying to get his mom's attention. But Miss Shani, I gotta point out, like, your episode had over 200 downloads. Our last episode of the year.
These are just audios.
Yes, these are just the audios. Yeah.
People aren't even watching the art being made.
No. Isn't that cool?
They want to hear what we're saying.
But they also, and don't get me, they want to hear, like I said, I have a big mouth. I'm good at it, right? So, but at the same time, well, it's the truth, right? I mean, you got to acknowledge what you have, but you were, last year, one of my more popular audio episodes. And yeah, I was like, not number one. That goes to the 3-year-old. I'm sorry. You lost to a 3-year-old. Yeah. It's just it lost. It was one of those things. I don't always understand why an episode, but I will say that the show has grown a lot. Like, the audio especially has grown quite a bit, and you were a big part of it. So I kind of want to just thank you very much for helping making 20. Like I said, I've opened a lot of doors doing the show, and I'm doing an immigration show. I'm doing a massage therapy show. That will probably be starting in March. It's when people will start actually seeing it, and it's like, I'm doing a lot of different things, and the podcast has been the linchpin for all these things, and all my guests have played a major role in that. And I have to say that would include you. So thank you very much for your part in that.
Well, thank you. I come on here and I shop talk with somebody who's on a similar level and with similar goals, and it's always great to reaffirm, like, internal belief systems with people who get it.
Mm-hmm.
And if what we chat about resonates with folks who are on a similar path or thinking about it, all the better.
Exactly. And that's kind of, so yeah, like, it's just one of those things. Like, I released last year over 200 episodes. So just put that in perspective. Probably and you're very easily in the top 10 or top 5. So
Jesus.
Yeah. So there you go.
Well, thank you, all you listeners out there. Couldn't have done it without you.
Yeah. So there you go. A little bit of and it's, like I said, it's always amazing to me what episodes really do well and which ones don't, because the ones I think sometimes they should do really well, they don't. And then there's ones I'm like, this will do okay, I think. And then next thing I know, boom, it's like, what the, like, I
This
don't.
one? This is the one? Okay. All right. Fine.
Yeah,
What the
that's it.
public wants.
Yeah. So I mean, like that's just how the world works. Again, one of the last things we'll talk about, and then we'll wrap up, is I realized something very important. It's about, you said, that consistency, just doing stuff. As long as you're doing stuff, good things will come, but they don't necessarily come in ways you expect. And that's the one thing I've learned about this is, if you had told me a year ago I'd be doing a massage therapy show and an immigration show, I would have said, really? Right? I did, like, it not in my radar. But at the same time, I'm watching the immigration show, and again, building that show from the ground up with my co-host has been a great experience. And right now I'm at that phase in the show, because I've built my own show already, that I'm stretching it to kind of see what the show can be and what it can't be. Right? At some point, I want to do a comedy episode on that show, but we'll see if I get my wish there. Right? And I'm not, and people will go, well, why would you do that on a serious news show? Because that's one. But there's another reason too. Sometimes, even if the show doesn't always go well, you can learn something from doing it. Taking a concept and stretching it in as many different ways as possible, especially when you're just building something in the beginning, is essential, right, to making the best possible show you do. How do you know what a show or a story or a piece of work can be unless you want to play with it, unless you're going to play with it? There's no other way to know than to do it. But then again, even doing it what you think will work, it might still blow up in your face. It happens. But even in those
try.
Yeah, you gotta try.
Just with the best intentions and the knowledge that you have, just go in the best direction you can.
That's it. That's your job. Your job is not, this is going to sound, some people are going to hear this say dumb. Your job is not necessarily to achieve the success you're going for. Sometimes your job is simply to just show up and do the best you can and let things go where they're supposed to. That's it. Sometimes it really is that simple. Sometimes.
Well, honestly, that feels like when you're doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
When you are just showing up and you're being you and you are getting the rewards from just that. You can reach for different kinds of rewards and successes, but if you are just showing up, like what we were saying before with brand consistency and whatnot, you will attract the people who are attracted to that. And if you're cool with that as success, then that's successful.
Yeah, no, it's just one of those things. Like, I recognize, like I said, right this very minute, I'm not where I want to be. So my job is just to keep going with what I'm doing and see what other doors inevitably open. Every day is a swing at the bat. I did 6 of these shows this week. Now, I'm not going to do 6 every week, but on average, I do 5. Every show's a swing at the bat. Right? Now, one person has been watching the show right now. Others will watch it later. Right? Just, it's the nature of the beast. So what my job then is, right, is, okay, I do what I know how to do. I do everything I can to the best of my ability. Okay. Did I do that? Yes. Okay. Done. All right. This was the result. Tomorrow, do it again. And as I keep doing stuff, as I keep trying, other ideas come into my head. We're talking about building an audience. One of the things I have to do, and I have to be very blunt about this, I got to be serious about doing a consistent newsletter. It's going to also be a key. It's a key to my success. It is a very, very simple key to my success. But what is my newsletter going to be about that I feel is going to work for me? Well, talking about how to make bloopers and like clip shows and how I put together a storytelling format. Like, I have on my blog right now, I did an episode. I wrote about how I put a show together, like how I see a show working and the story structures, like especially like a headline news show. One of the immigration episodes we had so many headlines that it just made sense to do a headline only show. But then I realized one of the biggest problems, I realized that news by just presentation is boring as fuck if someone just comes on the air and reads at something. So now I got to look at net. This is what I did. It's like I looked at news channels, all of them, right?
Mhm.
Even the ones that are quote unquote fake news. Like, say what you will about Fox, they know what they're doing in terms of presentation. They
Right.
absolutely
Don't
do.
remake the wheel.
Yeah, exactly. So I look at so you look at Fox, you look at CBC in Canada, you look at BBC in Britain, you look at all these different networks that do it, and it's like, what do they do that's similar?
Mhm.
What do they do that's different?
Mhm.
Right this minute, again, I don't really consider Fox a credible source for news,
Sure.
but as a brand, as a presentation, they are incredibly smart. They know exactly what they're doing, and they know exactly the kind of audience they are going after, and they do it better than any other news network on the air.
Which is
That's
to
what.
say to folks, go look at what's working and see why it's working and see if it can apply to your goals and then
Yes,
adopt it.
exactly. So on that note, right? That's what I did, and I wrote
Mhm.
about that.
Mhm.
It's like I looked at what worked. I figured out how to create a visually stimulating episode, or as visually stimulating as we could possibly do it.
Mhm.
Those episodes actually have been our most popular ones,
How about
right?
that? It's almost
Yeah,
like it
so
works.
yeah, so that's the thing, right? That's the Now we're still figuring out other things about the show, but that show had a very clear focus on what it wanted to be. And this is
Mhm.
why you push the envelope, ladies and gentlemen, in as many different ways as possible. Because you make a clearly defined show, but it's able to achieve certain goals. Suddenly, people that were looking for those goals will find them. And I can't think of a better way of going back full circle to what we talked about at the very beginning than that. But that's the thing. That's why when you are listening to me, now, newsletters may not be for everybody on this list, but the truth of the matter is, if you want to build a very specified audience to reach you,
Mhm.
that's how you're going to do it. You're going to put
Mhm.
out your message, whatever that is, and people are going to read it or they're not going to read it. And that's important because if you have that, you know, if you have that in your mindset, so now I'm rethinking blog content. I'm rethinking, right, all that stuff. Like again, it's an evolving thing. I have an SEO little gold mine on my blog. I need to build upon a little bit more. But what it comes down to is, okay, I want to get business with video. So what I should be doing is talking about how to make episodes, how to make certain things, and reach an audience to explain what the hell I'm doing. Right.
Mhm.
So why is this in my portfolio? Here's why. How would I approach doing a show or a presentation or a podcast? Or because that's what I do. That should be what my content should be all about in my newsletter.
Mhm. And
Does
you're
that make
gonna,
sense?
yeah, you're establishing yourself as an expert to the people who are interested. Though there is a possibility that you might be attracting people who want to learn, and if you're into the passive income, that could be great because you could teach them how to do it. But you're still establishing yourself as an expert to your ideal
I,
clients. It's just about formatting the verbiage to make it sound like how you could do that for them. And we're talking about newsletters, not really your programs. Your programs, if you're modeling it after what works, then your audience is going to react to that in a positive way, as you've seen with the increased views. But for your newsletters, I think it's really important to know who you're talking to in those letters to either attract clients to work with you one-on-one or students who want to learn what you're doing.
but the thing is, you can serve both audiences. For
You can.
example, I have a podcast course at the Science Fiction and Speculative Fiction Academy. You can take my podcast course. You can learn all about it. Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Right. So like I have that. And again, maybe for next time what we'll talk about is the fact is how to take one services and applying a specific goal to spread out in many different ways as possible.
Mm-hmm.
Maybe like that. I feel like we could talk another hour on that.
We absolutely could.
Yeah, so that might be the next time you come back on the show. Maybe we'll do that next time.
Let's
also,
do.
maybe okay, let's do that. So, for people that want to find you, how can they find you?
Well, first of all, thank you all for listening. I'm very flattered. I'm Shani O. I run the Art Bard, and you can find me at www.theartbard.com or on Instagram as Shani the Art Bard. And if you just go to my website, you'll find all my social media handles there. You can email me at theartbard@gmail, and we can chat about your stories, character art, portrait art. I know I didn't really talk about it, but that's what I do: portrait and character artist and story artist. So I'd love to hear more about your projects, or just hear what you're working on, and let me root you on from the side, y'all.
Yeah.
Okay.
So, all right, and to wrap up from my end, a couple things. First and foremost, ladies and gentlemen, I have my current release, which is Alice 1, which you can get right here. So Alice this is a mixture of Alice in Wonderland as Greek mythology. Alice is Pandora, and basically Alice in this particular book, Alice chases the Queen of Hearts over the edge of the world and ends up in the Greek underworld. There, to escape, she must play Jason of the Argonauts a game of croquet, because that is a Wonderland thing to do. But in this process, as absurd as it sounds, going through the maze of the labyrinth of the undead, Alice and company encounter gods, monsters, and perhaps the most terrifying thing of all, themselves.
Your sound went out. I can't hear you.
That now?
Yep.
So there's that. Finally, folks, if you want to support the, obviously click the like, follow button on the channel. But if you also want to support me, you can go to mirrorworldpublishing.com right now. There is a special for their anthology Far, Far Away. The code is Joshing. Put in the code Joshing. You can go to Mirror World Publishing right now, and you can definitely pick up a book. It's an anthology of 7 stories. Definitely check them out. Put in the code Joshing. You'll get a discount for the book. Definitely go do that. And to everybody watching, everybody listening, thanks for watching. Thanks for listening. There will be no stream tomorrow. Monday, though, is another Drinking Jaw with the one and only Specs Thompson. They'll be there. It's going to be a fun one. Until then, guys, stay inspired, keep shining in the dark, and I'll see you guys next time.
See ya.